the Well Church family. My name is Adrian Parker, and I have the biggest honor ever. I get to introduce this new sermon series we're having called Masterpiece. This is where we're exploring how art really reveals God's heart and why creativity matters even today to Christians. So every week, we're going to be interviewing a member of our family, our artist of the week, to learn about their story, their gifts, their inspiration, and their artistry. And so the first face you're going to see on the screen is none other than the Taryn Crist. I want to know this. Go back to the beginning. What was the moment you knew that like you could really sing? Like when you were a kid, or like when did you know that there was something special about your voice?
This is a tough question for me because I've been singing for as long as I can remember. And so at such a young age, I think I knew very early on that it wasn't something that singing wasn't something that I just liked to do or that I happened to be good at, but it was almost something that like I needed to do. Sounds weird. Um, and my parents will even tell stories about how they would hear me sing before I had even like spoken my first words. And I would just sing about whatever I was doing, like, oh, I'm playing with my doll, whatever. And so, like, yeah, so it's hard for me to think of a specific moment when I knew. It was more just like something that brought me intense joy that I just had to do, and I did it all the time.
Wow. So you're saying I love that. I needed it was almost like breathing. Like singing has
Yeah.
always been a part of just who you are, just from a young age.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Wow. I love that. Now, when did you decide to, because I guess tell us a little bit of your journey in singing, like from maybe it was church. I don't know if you sung in any bands or education wise. Like, what did that journey look like, and when did you decide to like, hey, I'm gonna make this a gift that I'm gonna get better at? When did you pursue it? Like, how did it start, and then when did you pursue it as something that was more than just kind of a talent, but something that you would pour into?
So, yeah, like I said, I like to sing just for fun, around the house. But I think I started formal voice lessons when I was 10. And then from there, just voice lessons continued on through early college for me. I got involved in musical theater actually in elementary school. And that's kind of where my singing journey took me. And I was really passionate about that for a time. Just the storytelling and the acting included in that and all of the music. I was in choir through my school years, through college. And I also did lead worship starting in middle school on through college as well. So yeah. So it was always something that I needed to do, like I said, and wanted to get better at in hopes that I would one day use it for my career. But I know now that's not exactly what God had planned for me, but it was just a passion of mine.
Wow, that's huge. So you've been singing in church, leading worship. Um, what's your favorite song? Do you have a favorite worship song?
So that's interesting because I've never had like, oh, this is my favorite artist or this is my favorite song. It's always like a season of my life when I've related with a certain artist more, a certain song. So I can say right now, my favorite artist is John Guerra. Have you heard of John Guerra?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've listened to a few of his. I thought you were gonna say like Carrie Joby or Charity Gale
No.
or yeah,
Well, I mean, they have
yeah,
beautiful voices, but there's
yes.
something about John Guerra's lyrics that just get me. And just,
Wow. Okay.
I don't know, just, yeah. So right now, that's my favorite.
Yeah, favorite. Okay, I have a theory. Tell me if I'm wrong. You feel free to disagree. This is a safe place. You can be very honest.
Okay.
I think there's a difference between singing a song and leading worship. It's like singing a song well and leading other people into worship, into the presence of God. I think those are related but different, maybe gifts or skills. What do you like? What is different about singing that that people maybe don't realize when you get up and you're actually leading worship? What how do you feel different? Do you prepare different? Like how does that look?
I think there's less pressure in a way from performing because if you mess up, it's like no one is here to see me perform.
Mhm.
That's like not why people came to the church, you know? So, um, that's why I love leading worship at the well because I do feel like I can just freely use the gift that God gave me without the pressure of being perfect and while keeping like the focus on Christ where it should be, you know. Um, so I don't know if prep is any different per se. Maybe a little less rehearsed and a little more like, if we want to continue this chorus, we're going to continue it, but we'll kind of like see how we feel kind of
Yeah.
vibe. So
Yeah.
a lot of some improv, more improv maybe.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're a alto, right?
So I do sing alto sometimes, but I also sing soprano depending on what
Of
is
course.
needed. I'm not trying to
Of course you do. Of course she does. Yeah, that's
but lately
whatever you need. Yeah.
I have been singing more soprano, so I enjoy
Yeah.
both.
Well, I think there are songs like like Been So Good, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if you have never heard Taryn sing Been So Good, it is just there's something about it. Like and part of obviously the lyrics, the message, and so this isn't
Mhm.
trying to spotlight you necessarily, but I think there's something special about being able to communicate the spirit of the lyrics in the song. And so, have you ever been surprised in the middle of a worship song or, has do you feel God speaking when you're leading 150 or 200 or whatever people in worship? What is that experience like?
Sometimes, to be honest, no, and other times, yes. Sometimes nerves will get the best of me because I
Yeah.
do get nervous, you know? There is still pressure, even though I said there's no pressure. There's still pressure, just that internally you feel as a singer. Um, And but then other times, like we were talking about "Been So Good," that song. As I was rehearsing it, the first time I was going to sing it, I was thinking, "This song is so repetitive. Why are we like this? Is people are going to get bored?" Is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And then I was leading it that Sunday, um my perspective just shifted and I felt God shifting my perspective like, no, you need to hear this that I am so good over and over again so that you can know it, you know. So that
Yeah.
was something that I felt him moving in my heart during that song.
Oh yeah, and I think when you and I don't funny, I don't know because I have no singing talent, and so I had to like take your word for it. But I think there's something where when you feel it and you're there with God, it helps. And everyone's singing to an audience of one, but
Yeah.
as when you're leading the song, like taking us with you, I think helps usher in that spirit and kind of So part of the sermon, and the first message is about the breath and the life, meaning God is breathing life into us. So when he formed Adam, he breathed life into him, and life, inspiration is word inspiration means breathing life into someone. And so I think something about your gift, like the voice, is like breathing life into people as you're singing. Um, but what's the hardest part of leading or singing worship, or what's something you wish people realized? Like, is there like, is there something that you don't think we understand or know?
I think personally something about me to start there. I I love to sing, but I don't necessarily love to perform. And that's kind of a
Mm.
weird thing that I'm up there on stage because, like, I don't really love being in the middle of the stage with the spotlight. The worship team always laughs because I cheer whenever I get to go to the back row. I'm like, oh, I can
Yes.
just like, or during reflection, it's so nice being tucked away with Andre, you know? Um, so that's something about me. And I think that's kind of where I started out wanting to perform as a kid because, like, oh, I can sing, so I'm going to use it to perform because that's what you do when you can sing, to kind of, you know, wanting to do maybe some music therapy and then speech therapy, and long story short, to worship at the well. And it's just been such a blessing to find a way to use my gift without feeling like I need to perform, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, it makes.
So,
Yeah, there's something about. I have a theory also about the well because we have so many talented people who have that same. It's a very low ego community. You don't.
yeah.
There's people who are supremely gifted in so many areas, but you almost have to work to find out. I'm like, oh, I have to like Google you, or I
Yeah,
have
to
to ask
go.
the right question at the right time to know that, I'm sitting next to like the expert in this field or the, classically trained person in this. And so our
Yeah.
even this series, like there are people who are like magnificently gifted who don't necessarily wear it as a badge or a symbol of
Mm.
status, but they're able to work the gift in a way that really honors God. And so I think that's a gift. Humility to me is a virtue, but also a gift. Because I think if I had a voice like yours, everybody would know about it. I'd be on Instagram like all day singing. Like my people would be tired of me. So I think you do it. So now, do you practice at home, and do your kids or your husband like hear you changing tones and keys and like the practice and error? Like how what does that prep look like when you're on for Sunday?
I do practice at home. I
Yeah,
practice in the shower
yeah,
mostly.
yeah,
Um, in the car. Whenever I can get a spare moment, because it is hard being, having kids with me all the time. I don't feel like I can always focus. So usually it's at the end of the night when they're in
yeah.
bed, a couple nights before Sunday. Yeah, I'll review the songs. I'll put my AirPods in and sing, and Andrew will usually move to a different room so he can do something else. He always
Uh,
laughs because I'll sit on the couch next to him, like, and I'll say, I need to review my songs. And then I'll just start singing. He's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Just like sit here?
yeah, sit here and listen to this. It's a free concert, Andrew. Listen to the concert.
Which no, I mean, I understand. It's like, yeah, if I'm actually practicing with my full voice, it's kind of all consuming, takes over the whole house. So
Yeah.
I can understand that. But
That's
yeah.
awesome. Now, does Andrew ever join you? Any duets in the
Yeah.
future?
Yeah. I mean, he does join me. Yeah. He thinks he can't sing, but I really think he can sing better than he thinks he can.
Oh,
Yeah.
so what we really need to work towards is this Crist duet. Or now, do any of the kids show any interest in music, or is Jocelyn kind of humming with you, or I don't know, Elliot
Yeah.
Lawson, are they? Yeah.
Yeah, they will. They'll sing whenever I sing to Jocelyn, she'll sing with me.
Oh.
And Elliot has actually been more into singing lately, and I'm noticing that he has really good pitch matching skills. So
Oh,
he can, yeah, I think he might have singing in his future, but I mean, no pressure. They can
yeah.
be their own person.
That's awesome. Now you've kind of glossed, and I do truly believe, hey, there could be this Christ Five empire, that happens, and I can say I spotted it first, but you kind of glossed over like so you were at because I know a little your story, right? So music
Yeah.
school, UNT,
Uh-huh.
right, for speech. I mean,
Yeah.
you've you've studied and pursued and like you're there's some there's a reason that you're good, right? Like nobody gets into Berkeley just on a whim and
Yeah.
then goes and does speech, and then obviously I know you're a stay-at-home mom and you're spending time with your family, and that's such a great gift and a privilege to be able to do that, and you're able to apply that only with your kids but also to apply almost your voice as therapy doing worship. But like there's a
Mhm.
I don't know, I just want to affirm that, like that's amazing.
Thank
Like
you.
that's
Yeah.
just awesome.
Yeah, it's a part of my past that I'm proud of. And Berkeley was one of those things that I didn't know for sure if I wanted to be a full-time musician, but I knew that I needed to go and try
Mm,
for a year because it was
yeah,
just one of those weird, like to go to an all music college was just in Boston,
yeah,
was just kind of an opportunity of a lifetime. So I went knowing that I might not pursue that, but they had one of the top or have one of the top music therapy programs, and I knew at that point that I didn't want to be a performer, but I wanted to use this gift to help other people some way because I just wanted to do that. Um, and I learned a lot. Did some theory classes, some arranging classes, music technology class where I had to
Hmm.
use all these softwares to like write my own music, and ear training where I had to just like read music and sing the notes with the correct rhythm. That was hard. It was really hard.
That's
And they would put
awesome.
you on the
Yeah.
spot. They would put you on the spot, like, Taryn, can you sing line four? And just, yeah.
I mean, what you described, it sounds it, to me. You know what it sounds? It sounds like excellence. It sounds like you needed to sing. There's this gift that was natural. You pursued it, and obviously took classes and courses and voice lessons, and you found such a really rewarding way to use it in this season. Like you said, seasons
Yeah.
of need. But man, I cannot wait to see what's obviously you're like, I'm full with now season is full, but I
Yeah.
cannot wait to see what that next seasons look like. What do you hope? Let me ask you this, two more questions. What do you hope people, or maybe do you have a hope or do you have a prayer of what you want people to experience when you're leading or when you're participating in worship? You know, what do you hope that people feel when you're kind of trying to usher in the experience of the presence of God?
Yeah. I think I just hope that people feel invited to participate. Like I said before, I don't love performing, but I do love making music with people and harmonizing and like creating a masterpiece that people can enjoy and share in and participate in.
Yeah.
And so, especially with worship, like my prayer is that people would hear hear me sing and feel God's presence and maybe be moved by lyrics in a new way that they hadn't been before, because that's what music does to me. So that's what I hope
Yeah.
it does to other people.
Yeah, almost like your hope is that it touches and inspires them as much as it touches and inspires you. Which
Yeah.
is, I mean, this sermon series, the masterpiece. I mean, it really is what it's about. Is God is the ultimate original creator, but He's created us as many creators. We are artists as well. We are works of art that get to create art, and we get to
Yeah.
participate in the beautiful things that He's building and glorify Him and reveal His artwork, His mastery. Any words of encouragement, I guess, for aspiring, let's say artists in general, right? So maybe not outside of voice or people like me who can't hold the tune if it came with handles, but people who have been giving a gift, creativity in any area of life for themselves. It could be, teaching, could be sculpting, it could be, an instrument. Any encouragement for aspiring, because I think your journey is very unique in that, you have a high competency and you found these ways to apply it in new and creative, kind of avenues. So I guess any encouragement for people, who see you and just, aspire to glorify God with their gifts, but maybe might not be sure how to apply it.
Yeah. It's a good question. Prayer,
Yeah.
praying, trusting that God will open doors and ways for them to do what they love. I didn't think that I'd be singing again, honestly. Because I hadn't sung since coming to the well. I don't know how many, 8 years? No,
Oh,
six
wow.
years, six. Yeah. So it was one of those
Yeah.
things I thought it's like, okay, that was a time of my life. It's kind of dormant now, or just, I wasn't as passionate about it, but then since coming to the well, I really did find a community and almost an outlet to use that gift in a way that is always most fulfilling, which is glorifying God, with that gift. Um, so yeah, maybe just praying and trusting that God will open doors for that gift and for that passion in the right time. And then another thing would be to remain humble, because
Ooh,
that is hard. It's hard, when you know, like, hey, I'm above average at this one thing. It's hard to be humble.
yeah.
And it's also hard to not let it become like your identity. And there was a time in my life where I was singing every day, and it was almost what I was known for in school. It's like, oh, yeah, there's Sharon, she sings.
Yeah.
And that it was tough for me at it was tough for me whenever I wasn't singing because I felt like, oh, I've lost my identity, like I'm no longer
Right.
a singer. Who am I? And I would even wrestle with that. Like if I lost my voice, if I couldn't sing anymore, if I couldn't use this gift, would I be Taryn? Would I be okay? And ultimately I know yes, because my purpose in life is not to sing, it's to glorify God through the gift that he's given me. And that's the same for all of us. Like we don't worship the gift or the person who has the gift, but the giver. And yeah, we're all given different gifts for different times, even in different
Mhm.
seasons. And so just keeping your eyes focused on the giver of the gifts and the purpose of those gifts to glorify him.
Wow. I think I'm getting teary-eyed. Like
Oh.
that's beautiful. I mean, that's the message. It's so beautiful. So we're recording this before the first sermon. Obviously, we're gonna post it after, but that is it. I mean, that's thank you for I mean, that is just so powerful. I think you said a lot. Humility, prayer, trusting God, trusting his timing, waiting on God and waiting with him, but also just the humility of not necessarily letting that gift become the identity, but letting it becoming something that God can use. And
Yeah.
your purpose is bigger than the gift or how you apply it. And I mean,
Mhm.
I'm gonna quote you during
Okay.
this. I mean, that beautiful. Well, Taryn, thank you. Okay, anything I missed? Any parting thoughts or things that you want to share with your Well Church family?
No, other than I'm just so blessed to be a part of this family. And yeah, I'm just overwhelmed with how like accepting and loving this family is and just how at home Andrew and I feel here. And we're just so thankful for everybody, and I'm specifically thankful for, the worship team and just the opportunity I have to worship alongside of everyone at the church.
That's awesome. Well, I know that feeling is mutual from the church, from all of us who attend, and how you bless us and pour into. I know you all rehearse and put time, effort into it, and so we appreciate it. And mostly for me personally, I'm thankful for your time. I know getting this scheduled, and you've been so responsive. But thank you for your generosity of sharing your story, sharing your heart. For those of you who might not know Taryn, hopefully this was a little piece of her story that kind of inspires you, or hey, you can always take her for a coffee or a
Yeah.
play date and get to know her. But we are grateful for your gift, but we're also just grateful for you as just a member of our church body, and so we can't wait to see what's next on the journey.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.